What's up? Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I'm Captain Gummy.
And I'm sober, so strap in for a real snooze fest.
And I don't know
sober
what
October or something?
Christian is doing here.
Yeah, I know. He's photoshopping. Oh,
It
man.
looks like he's taking an MMA. You know how they do those versus.
Yeah. Like the fight poster.
Yeah, the fight poster, and he's putting my face and Nick's face on it because we can't agree on when the release date of Dark Tide is. Anyway, how's your week been?
Good. I have gone a whole week without drinking, Bobby. It's I've turned a new leaf. No, I don't know. It's really boring being fucking sober, man. So,
Really? It was not for me. When I stopped drinking, I rediscovered so many different things. I got really into gaming again, really
Yeah.
into computers in general again. Started reading a lot more. Yeah, I don't know.
It's only been a week. Were you drinking every day though?
At the end, yeah,
Oh damn, bro. No, I've never drank all day.
like
I mean,
fucking
every day.
medicine.
Sometimes I'm drinking and I'm like, this is boring. Why am I doing this? Sometimes. So maybe that was time.
Is
to cut
it because of our good friend Andrew?
No, you know what? I had already thought about that, and then he only just solidified all that.
hmm
Yeah, 2 hour.
Well, I'm sure it
podcast on why
wasn't.
you shouldn't.
Yeah, so you're listening to this podcast. What is it, Huberman Labs
Yeah.
or something? I'm sure it wasn't like news to you that drinking was bad.
No,
like, you
right.
didn't hear his podcast and be like, "Hey,
Although he goes on about why it's bad for 2 hours, like it's so much
Mm.
worse than you actually think it is.
okay."
God, it's so distracting, Christian. Christoph, please.
Oh my God. Well, joining us today is Captain Gummy, who I don't think has ever been part of, he's never joined for an entire episode, but he's been on here and there, always showing up to DLG Con, hasn't missed a single one.
Yeah.
Let's give the listeners a little profile here. So this is probably the most advanced Sea of Thieves player we all know. I know you've carried me many a times in there.
Captain Gummy gets into
yeah.
a fucking game and fucking gets into them. Like he will play the same game and fucking be a master. I see you always playing some fucking a lot of games where you take stuff from one place and take it to another.
Imagine that. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about later.
Yeah,
But,
I know.
no, it's just I like casual stuff. And I'm not too hard on the PvP. Except Sea of Thieves tends to be that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But
What would you say your time is on average PvPing in Sea of Thieves? Because every time I replay it, it just seems like I PvP less and less and less.
yeah. Well, I haven't played recent updates. The people I was playing with, I don't know, they just kind of like vanished. But yeah, it just really depends on the servers.
I feel like I get
You
into a
run
lot of
into some
fights.
people run away from each other, and the other people run after each other. So it's you kind of make it how you want it. You like if you want PvP, you go after people.
Mhm.
And if you want PvP, you won't run away also. So
You don't get randomly just attacked. I guess you just run away if you don't.
I mean,
you're
you
not
can
interested,
if you're
right?
not paying attention, you can get easily attacked. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with some of the new cannonballs and stuff.
Like if you're on an island or something, yeah. If you're on an island, you just and you're not paying attention, someone can just roll up on you.
You've been
And,
listening for a long time, huh, Gummy?
What's that?
You've been listening forever, like years and
Yeah.
years and years.
Yeah, back when Chad was here.
Jeez.
Before maybe even before a little bit before that. I mean, I probably listened to episodes before he was on,
Yeah.
but I wasn't listening while he was like the active episodes. It was
Damn.
right around Chad. Yeah.
How many episodes were there pre-chat? 2?
No, there were a couple. We went a couple months. So we started in, I think, 2012 of like November or something, or like late October. And I think Chad joined January.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a year off there, but yeah, it was, I think we had a couple months without Chad, but not much.
Fucking motorcycles driving by. It was loud.
It was pretty rough at the beginning. I
Yeah.
think it's
I,
rough now, but phew.
I feel like whoever says like back when Chad is on, that's like the equivalent to like back in Nam.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because a lot of people don't even remember him.
Yeah.
Or,
it's
I
been
mean,
that
they
long.
can't
I'm
remember him. They
surprised
weren't
he
around.
hasn't been on here as a guest star at some point. I know he's there's reasons why he can't be on, but I didn't know he couldn't be like a guest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's just using that as an excuse.
Yeah. It's what Bobby would do if he ever left. It'd be the same
He's
thing.
like, nope, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Immediately
The school
starts
board
with
says
the-
that I cannot. Speaking of school board, are you off of work? No, right? 'Cause
Sort
you're
of.
corporate.
Sort of. Yeah, I'm taking time off, but I got some things to do.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. Talk about some video games.
Talk about some
Yeah.
video games. I'll kick it off on the radar. So games that have come to our attention recently. I'm going to kick it off with Ship of Fools. This is a roguelike where you jump on a boat and funny, we were talking about Sea of Thieves. It sounds like Sea of Thieves. You have to do all the things you need to do on a boat. It's co-op, by the way. So you've got to fire the cannons, repair the ships, adjust the sails, but it's a roguelike where you work with other people to fight these monsters along the way. And the usual roguelike things, you get upgrades. You've got a map kind of like FTL where you choose different spots to go to. It's a cool idea. The graphics remind me a lot of, they're animated and it's like a top-down type of graphics. So it
Don't
looks,
Starve.
Yeah, Don't Starve. Not as, I don't know, Nightmare Before Christmas-ish as Don't Starve, but yeah, along those lines. But it looks like a
lot
cool game.
What is that called? Cult of the Lamb?
Yeah, Cult of the Lamb. It's got kind of that cutesy art style. But I just like the idea of being on a ship.
Dude, a co-op FTL sounds pretty sweet if that's what it is. But it seems definitely more actiony than FTL was. I loaded that up randomly the other day. I didn't start playing it though.
Dude,
But yeah,
FTL 's a
this looks
game that
cool,
has gone
man.
to-
Digging it.
Well, the thing
It
about
looks
FTL
awesome.
is you can pause the game and then make decisions. It's
Yeah.
not completely real time. But I have no idea what this one is like and whether or not it's even any good. But it does.
Does look good.
Yeah, it looks good, and a lot of people are wish listing it and getting kind of hyped about it. So something to keep an eye on. The release date's November 22nd, so not too far away.
Not to call you out, Bobby, but can you see how many people have wishlisted something?
No, you like a regular person wouldn't be able to see that.
Okay.
But
you, as a robot person, can? I don't know what you meant by
can I hack in and get that data? No, if you're the developer, you get those. I remember
gotcha.
when going back to Chad when he was working for Sony. Like Sony released their first game on Steam. It was the one that was like
Horizon Zero Dawn.
No, not that one.
Oh, it
Last
was
of
the
Us?
God. We can
Yeah, we
never
always
remember
forget.
this.
Yeah, it was the one where you have to drop in kind of
Twin stick shooter, 4-player co-op.
Helldivers, right?
Helldivers.
Yeah,
There we
it was
go.
Helldivers, and he showed us the back end because he had the login for it. He showed us the back end of that of the Steam page where you could see all the stats and adjust everything on it. And it was pretty interesting. But
We should have.
I just
Speaking of
played
that-
Helldivers today.
Oh, did you? That's funny. And it had the. Did you play co-op?
No, I don't have any friends.
Oh, that's a good game.
yeah, it's a little tough calling down the stratagems or whatever they call them.
Yeah, but intentionally.
yeah, I
They were
think that's
kind of
the
like
point.
fumblecore,
Yeah.
you know, or more like a Street Fighter move, like a complex Street Fighter move,
Mm-hmm.
like a fatality.
Yeah, I always think of like Final Fantasy III when Sabin or Sabin, he had those specific types of moves, and you'd have to do like, like a full, like a half rotation, like a fireball type thing, or like the up, down, left, right thing. Like he had all these combinations. Anyway, Ship of Fools coming out November 22nd. Looks all right. We'll see.
On mine, I have Atari 50. I'm glad they did this. This is something new. So it's a compilation of games. It's
Of
there's
Atari
I think
games.
Atari games. Yeah, I think there's like 50 games in there.
Oh God, the arcade Atari games.
Yeah.
Because they've had this before. I have a pack of Atari games.
Oh, well, this is like their 50-year whatever.
Okay.
And it also comes with documentaries and like vignettes on each game, and all the things surrounding the game as well. So it has all these games, and then it has like the history of them and the guys who worked on it. They talk to those guys, and it's kind of like
I've seen so many Atari docs, dude.
it's kind of like
I've
a
seen
game.
that dude right there, Noah Bushnell. I've seen him interviewed so many times.
He's probably like as soon as one interviewer leaves, he's got a rotating door. She's like, yes, and then the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a
Bobby's
fascinating
like,
story. It's like, the birth of video games, and
Yeah.
there was a huge crash in the early '80s too. But yeah, but these Atari. So I played. That was the first system I ever had, by the way.
I never had one.
The Atari. Yeah, dude, I played that a lot. But when I went back and played like this Atari pack, not this one, but some other one, you forget how arcadey and how short-lived the joy is in those games. Like, they were so basic and so simple that it's really hard to spend too much time on them these days. But the documentary stuff does interest me.
Yeah, I think it's cool. One of the reviews was like, this is basically just a digital museum. You can go in and whatever game you're interested in, find out a little more about the thing. I just thought it was a cool concept how they, a multimedia game, or package, I would say.
I was about to say, how much is it? So it's $39.99.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting a lot though, for your $40. I mean, I'm not going to buy it.
I think I still have my original Atari games. I think they're in a box in my parents' garage.
You've said that about 700 items, dude. Your poor parents. They got every time they got to get the fucking weed whacker out. They got to move all the Bobby shit. Get Bobby shit out of the fucking garage.
Hey, I don't have that much stuff back there. But
look at all these Jinko jeans and gel, just all over the place.
I probably actually do, dude. One of these days, I'm gonna have to go in that garage and just hunt around.
Did you wear Jenko jeans?
No,
Bobby? I did. I'm so.
Oh my god.
JNCO jeans, dude. Look it up.
JNCO jeans.
Check it out, Chris.
For you younger folks out there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
dude.
think you
I
would
could,
have.
I could see Bobby and Jinko.
Yeah, I
jeans
could see him
more
too.
so
Yeah.
than Bob.
Dude, these were so popular.
yeah.
It was like the new bell bottoms.
Yeah.
Like,
You
what
know
was
how much-
going
So
on?
for
How
those
many
who
bottles of
can't
water
see
Bobby
what
can
we're
put
talking
in?
about, they're like bell bottoms, but they're straight leg, so they don't flare at the bottom. They're big all the way. They're like clown
Yeah.
pants. Yeah.
They're ridiculous. dude.
I was just talking to somebody that I work with, a couple of interns. Interns are just out of like basically starting college, and I was telling them about Jinko jeans. They had no idea what Jinko jeans were.
Dude, our rule
Yeah,
was like if to make sure they were good, if you could see your feet, then they were bad. Like that's not big enough, basically.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those.
Emilio, I'd pay for money for like young pictures of young
I
you at your style prime. I'd love to see that.
I was thinking about this today, dude. There's no photos of me. I'm gonna die.
That's
I
depressing.
leave no fucking legacy.
Well, I mean, back then you actually had to take a photograph.
Yeah, nobody's
Yeah.
gonna waste film on me.
You had to
know,
wind up
dude.
the camera, and you had to put the little tarp over and have the little flash thing up there.
That's what that Nickelback guy said. Yeah, the little flat and like
The little gunpowder and the thing.
yeah, the gunpowder and the
No, dude, there was oh my god. I was watching maybe about a year ago, I was watching the Fast and the Furious movies, and I was watching the second one, and if you look at Ludacris's outfit, it looks so ridiculous. And I'm just like, dude, I just remember that being so cool back in the day. That's just how people dress.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember wearing a FUBU cutoff sleeve shirt with a long sleeve
Second one,
underneath it.
Too Fast, Too Furious, Ludacris, the baby blue outfit. He looks like he looks like a toddler.
Oh, I know that outfit.
Like wearing adult clothes.
Well, the way he typed in Luda, dude, that's not
Just type
not
in
gonna work.
Too Fast, Too
dude,
Furious,
Google
Ludacris
doesn't
blue
get
outfit.
your memes, bro. The blue one. No, not
right.
that one. All right, come on, moving on.
Yeah, terrible
Oh,
podcast
Ludacris,
content.
Sorry.
He's a fucking rapper.
All right, cool.
Pokemon.
Oh yes, so yeah, I wanted to
Of
go over
course.
this. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are both out right now. I mean, the Pokemon always sells, and we're starting to see that, but we're also starting to see like feedback about Pokemon from non-Pokemon players finally going down. I am not someone that wishes for Pokemon to fail. I love Pokemon. I've loved Pokemon my whole life. It is the most valuable IP in the world, or entertainment IP in the world. But this new game has gotten so many people upset that it's officially now the worst rated Pokemon game or mainstream Pokemon game by users and by critics.
77's not bad, so that's saying a lot.
That Pokemon game for the Switch that came out was pretty good, pretty decent. There's a
So-
lot of us.
So this is for the Switch, but the thing is, there's essentially nothing new in the game besides new Pokemon. The other thing is that it runs like shit. It looks like shit. And then people are just they're just really tearing at a new one. There's a couple of good new ideas in there, but it's time for Game Freak to finally like step it up, and put their big boy pants on, and just like make a real game.
By big boy
People are getting
pants,
tired.
Janko jeans.
Brought to you by Jayco Jeans.
They gotta pull up their big boy jinkos.
So I mean,
Um,
the critical score is not that bad, but the user score is pretty low.
Well, here's
Look
the
at the-
thing, dude. All the Pokemon guys, like the Pokemon fans, are like in their late 30s, early 40s now. So I think they're just starting to become old, cynical now. The old men, they're becoming old men. So they're like, this is not my old Pokemon. This is what's happening, I think.
well, the thing is, like, there's clear things that should be fixed by now, right? One example is like, why am I only locked to 4 moves? Like in the canon Pokemon know a bunch of moves that you can use at once. Why are we still having non-unique animations? Why is there no voice acting at all in the games? There's none. It's just text. Like some of the glaring issues of this new one is that there's no more essentially like buildings. As weird as that sounds, there's some of them, but there's no buildings like the Pokemart. You used to have to walk into a Pokemart. You could do a bunch of shit in there. You can access your PC and all this other stuff and heal your Pokemon. You can go to the that's the Poke Center. The Pokemart is where you go when you buy shit, and you can look at other stuff as well. But those don't exist anymore. They're just in a fucking field. Like you run around.
Everything's
and,
in a
like,
field.
Everything's in a field, and like gyms are different. And I'm not saying it's bad that they're different, but I'm saying is like they've cut so many corners, it's easy to tell.
Yeah.
Like the same textures are like copied and pasted. Like I can design better maps and better textures using the D&D tool that I have to make maps for my players. Like it looks like ass.
This is how I feel about fucking Alien when it was on Fox Interact or Fox Studios, and also fucking Predator. I was like, you have such a good fucking IP, and you just keep putting out shit fucking movies. It's so frustrating, dude. And they don't have to be good. They
No.
rely on the fucking IP.
And that's exactly what's going on here. And people are like, well, the other thing that people are noticing is that the release dates between mainstream titles are getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
And the game looks exactly like the last one.
Yeah.
And it's
As a outside opinion here, because I never really got into Pokemon. I felt
We
like
missed it, Bobby. It was like
that's
right
what I
after.
thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of young kids get into Pokemon even today.
Oh, that's true. Mila-
even like
Vivian's
Minecraft.
in a Pokemon. She has a Bidoof doll.
Yeah, like I always thought I missed it, but that doesn't make sense though, because I've seen so many people younger than me who have got into Pokemon.
But the generation right after us, definitely,
Yeah.
that's the hardcores.
It's the
Because I think they grew up with the cartoon. Is that what got you into it, Nick?
So I got into it because of the cartoon, yes,
Yeah.
and then I bought the game, and then I bought cards, and then I got rid of my cards, and I want to throw myself off a bridge every time I think about it.
Nick, how old are you?
30?
Yeah, so I'm 30, 34. Amanda's around that same age range. I feel like all of us tend to like we were right around like the 4th, 5th, 6th grade when that came out, and so
Yep.
I feel like it fits right in there with
Yeah.
that age group, that type of game when it came out. So
I remember if you had a trade cable, which was like a funky USB, that you were essentially like a god. Like people wanted to be your friend, like because there was no way of trading any other ways, and so if you had blue, there was Pokemon you couldn't get in red and other stuff like that. So where I grew up, everybody was broke as fuck, so nobody had a trade cable besides like the one rich kid whose dad didn't want to drive on the other side of town or something, and that doesn't apply anymore. Like that's a part of the game that should have been changed, and it has been changed, and that's something that's for the better. That you can look for certain trades that you want to do and things like that, and there's even randomized trading. But here's a new feature that people think is, I wouldn't say good or bad. It's just weird. And I know this because one of my friends came over to play Magic, and he showed me Pokemon. He's like, check all this shit. He's really big into Pokemon. That's perfectly fine. But one of the new features now is that when you're walking around normally, you can just let one of your Pokemon go, and what they'll do is they'll just attack anything that's near you, and it simulates and auto resolves the battles that they would have automatically. So there is no more. I mean, technically, it's still there. You can play it the old way, but now if you're just running through the wilderness, you can just be like, "All right, Bulbasaur, go kill a bunch of shit, go get strong, and come back."
Almost like an idle game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Nick-
Well, the people have spoken, and it's crap.
Is this game called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet?
No,
Well, there's always two
versions.
versions when Pokemon comes out.
Okay.
So usually there's two versions. There's one and another, and they have exclusives so that people have to trade or buy both, right? And then usually after 2 years or a year, there's like a quote unquote like fixed or like prime version that kind of has everything in it. So for example, you have like Pokemon Blue and Red, but Pokemon Yellow came out a year or two after, and that game had all the Pokemon and stuff like that. So
It's such a money making machine.
It is,
dude.
and it's
Hey,
always been
we
like
won't
that.
talk about Pokemon Green though.
yeah,
They've
Pokemon
been
Green.
doing this. They've been doing this forever for like 20 years.
Yeah, since like the
1991, I think?
the inception of Pokemon, which is why, like, as an outside person, I'm like, and people are like, "Oh my god, this new Pokemon sucks," and I'm like, "Well, was it ever good?" I went back and played 2 years ago. I went back and played the original Pokemon on Game Boy, and I talked about this on the podcast. Like, I played it, I got into it, and I totally bought into like that cycle, the gotta catch them all, like the compulsive addictive cycle that they breed inside of you to keep playing the game, and then you say it's good just because you're addicted to it. But and then at a certain point, I was just like, "What am I even doing, dude? I'm playing like a 24-year-old game or something." Like,
That's the time that you were like, "What am I doing?"
no, well, what sparked it for me was I looked at the save file
Uh-huh.
because I was playing it on an emulator. I looked at the save file and it was like less than a kilobyte, and I'm like, all this time and effort I've been putting into something, and it's just this tiny little file there. It's
Yeah.
so like minuscule and unimportant. But I don't know.
There,
It was
So
There-
funny.
there are Pokemon players that have legacy Pokemon, so Pokemon that they've had forever. I know people that play Pokemon at a competitive level, like literally go to tournaments and all that kind of shit. And then I know people like me that are like, I'll play it because my friends are playing it. But apparently this is truly the worst one because they just cut so many fucking corners.
I don't know
Normally,
what-
like when your Pokemon is burned, right, and it's a status effect, burn, they take damage every turn, right, or at the end of every turn. And usually there's like a little animation where they get burned or whatever. They remove those. No one knows why.
So weird. Why was it
it's just-
critically? It did well critically, which is strange.
I mean, you could probably look up some other critic scores, but it's just, I mean, Sonic, the new Sonic got better reviews than like God of War,
Yeah.
like critically, and it's not a
Initially.
good game. It is broken as fuck as well.
Oh, geez. All right.
I think we're seeing like a gaming
Negative
a
Nancy.
AAA gaming recession, and I think God of War Ragnarok is gonna pull us out of it. But we'll talk about that later. What about you, Gummy? Though, what you got? Tempest Rising. What's that about?
Yeah. So Tempest Rising is Cricket Soldier actually showed me this game, and it is a Command and Conquer like game. Well, it is basically it's as if Command and Conquer was made today, and him and I we always we kind of grew up playing Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. So this is something we're very interested in playing, and it's just the right now it's just the video here, but it seems like it's going to be pretty good. I'm hoping it's going to be good.
It does look good.
A lot of times you get burned on these games that look Command and Conquer like games, and they come out and they're just trash. Like Red Alert 3 was kind of not great.
Oh yeah, they even have the full motion video, or it looks like they're trying to
the
go for it.
FMV cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Hell
Those
yeah.
are great.
Yeah. Even the music that goes into this trailer or teaser or whatever you want to call it. You can just have that Command and Conquer vibe to it. You can just feel it.
Yeah, it was probably. This
It's
is
like
probably made by a bunch of fans of the original.
fans or they got help from the original creators. But
Yeah, I played a
Okay.
lot of Command and Conquer, not so much Red Alert. Like I remember being so invested in Command and Conquer, then when Red Alert came out, I was just like, I don't like it, because
Oh,
of all
yeah.
the changes and stuff.
That
but
happened to me with TF2, man. I didn't like it initially.
yeah, it's when you get used to one thing. But there were so many Command and Conquer sequels. Like there were a lot of them, more than people realize, and none of them were very good. I think that they did like a remaster a year or two ago that was supposedly pretty good.
yeah, they have a couple of remasters up on one of the
Yeah.
game selling sites. I don't know which one it is.
Christian, can you look up the song Mechanical
I'm pretty
Man?
sure it's actually I forget what, I don't know. But yeah, they did through a whole bunch of remasters.
Yeah, we
out
covered
for
it on
'em.
the
Some of them,
podcast. Bobby.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the remaster being pretty good. Christian, can you look up the song "Mechanical Man" from Command and Conquer, dude? That was the banger from from Command and Conquer. Yeah, I got to play the remaster. I think it might have been on Game Pass or something. But those cutscenes are like burned into my brain. I'll never forget those,
Yeah.
dude. The Hand of Nod
Yeah.
cutscenes. I usually played the bad guys, the Hand of Nod, not the GDI. Yeah, all right.
yeah, I always made it and then Yuri's Revenge came out. That's the one that I never actually got into.
Okay, so this is the song, but wait for it, dude. They're gonna drop in with like the robotic voice.
Oh, nice.
When did this game come out? It's so late 90s.
I'm digging it.
It's a banger, dude. They don't make them like they used to.
That is solid.
That's good, dude. The Red Alert soundtrack was really good too. I still listen to some songs from that.
Nice.
No, we're not into that new wave garbage, dude. Weren't you listening?
Get out! Get your Red Alert out!
Give me that maximum of half a gig on a CD bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I want to say Command and Conquer was like the first game that I played online, maybe.
Yeah,
But we had to do it the hard way. We had
I'm
to do like
pretty sure.
IPX LAN, dude. It was not easy getting that set up. Like we had to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, so back in the day, Cricket Soldier and I, I'm pretty sure that was our first, other than being like couch co-op, that was our first online game. Dial-up. I had dial-up, and I would set that dial-up. We'd do the dial-up, and he had DSL though, so he was much more groovy than I was.
Man.
As much.
And
Did you guys play this
but-
one? Dune 2000? It was like exactly. There's so many clone games, but like this
Yeah.
was one of them.
Yep.
And this one fucking rock. Oof.
I've never even heard of that one.
He's
that
rustling
shit
his
sucks.
jimmies, dude. He fucking loves this.
right.
So what is Ratten Reich?
So that's another RTS. Just throwing all the RTSs out. There's a couple good RTSs coming out here soon, hopefully. But Rotten Reich is going to be a Company of Heroes like game, I would say.
Oh, okay. So a
and
smaller squad.
Squad RTS type of game, and then this one, it sounds like they have like 4 different factions from what I hear. I don't know. Is it they're rats, mice,
Yeah, they're all
cockroaches, and
animals.
lizards.
Oh, okay.
And it's like an alternate World War II, but with like rats, mice,
like
lizards,
Tooth
and
and Tail.
cockroaches.
Yeah, but they
And
have human bodies.
the second video, Christian, if you go to that one's it shows the trailer is just awesome. Shows a whole bunch of cool stuff on that second part.
Problem
And it's
is
just a cinematic, but like still, it kind of shows you what you know.
no, just like
what's
Bobby says,
better.
you can always tell how good a game is by the cinematic.
Well, it gets me hyped up. I don't know.
Me too, dude. I can't get this guy's pulse going for no matter what I.
Real
dude,
gameplay in
never
it, though,
forget. What
too.
was that one? Dead Island. That
Yeah.
trailer was so
Dude,
good.
Dead Island 2.
The game was pretty good too, but it was just like, I don't know. After that, I could just never take a cinematic trailer seriously. Plus, how many times like EA, like every EA trailer. But-
I will say this about RTS. I was thinking about it the other day. How like almost every big AAA title comes out for all systems now. It's just like you don't even have to ask anymore. It's just like it's across the board. But RTSs are almost like still fundamentally PC. It's very rare. They do go to Sony, but you don't see them as much for sure.
Well, yeah, it's just hard to do that with a controller.
Yeah,
There was a Halo game where they tried Halo Reach.
yeah.
They tried to do an RTS on a controller. I think it was fairly successful.
No,
but-
says Christian.
So
All
Hi-
right, let's talk
Halo
about
Command,
Wars, you
Command
old
and Conquer
bastards.
came to Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun. I believe it's 3 and 4, or maybe it's just 3 with that split up into 2 different ones. But Tiberian Sun came to the console, and it was actually pretty decent. That was back when I wasn't I didn't have a PC or anything. I was just console gamer,
Mm.
and it actually worked out pretty well. I thought they did that really well. They used the circular thing with the D-pad and all that to pick your different units, whatever. So yeah, and it looked good too, and it was fun. So,
It can be done.
but
It's just not
yeah,
done as common.
it can be done. It's not as
Yeah.
um,
No, I think
Yeah.
it can be done. I just think like people don't expect RTS games or are not used to them on consoles too. It's kind of like sports games on PC. It's just,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. They've kind of, even if you
Yeah, it's-
make a good one, like people just don't really play it because they're just like, that's a console thing. I don't know.
I still can't get a fucking UFC game on PC, you fuckers. So I got Rogue Soulstone, Bobby, which is the same, not only the same makers of Soulstone Survivors, but it's the same fucking assets. Like you could tell, it's all the
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
the same thing.
yeah. They just pulled the same character, which I always like. I encourage this so much. I want AA and certain studios to be reusing their assets. Like try a bunch of games. It takes a long time to make all these graphics and stuff. Plop them into as many fucking games as you want and like put it out there. So anyway, Soulstone Survivors, which I played this week, but I'll get into that later. Is basically it's one of those vampire survival games, but this is a roguelike game. So the perspective's different. You play from the third perspective and third person perspective, and it's so funny. It's the exact same
It's the same talent
backgrounds,
tree,
the
the
talent tree,
same
everything.
Yeah, the same.
Okay, maybe you took it a little too far, guys. No, but like it's a cool aesthetic, and I definitely support them using different things, especially since
Yeah,
I
it's
like
like same
roguelikes
game,
more.
different genre.
Yeah, this seems like it should be multiplayer, but I didn't see anything about it being multiplayer. But yeah, I like roguelikes. I already like these guys. I like their other game, so I'll probably give this a try. Supposedly it's coming out next year, so hopefully it is. With all the money they're getting from Soulstone Survivors, maybe it'll come out faster or on time.
2023.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it multiplayer?
No.
No, single player.
Controller support. All right.
Hmm.
Captain of Industry. What's that?
So Captain of Industry is a Factorio like. So if you were to take Factorio and like Anno 2020 or 2070 and just like made a baby, that would be like this Captain of Industry. So you have your belts, you have everything gets created from simple resources, or they got gold, copper, iron, stuff like that, and those all go into different machines. Those produce stuff, which produce other things. But the difference between what this is and, let's say, Factorio is that you have people, and you have to manage those people. So you have to do farming, and you have to collect their waste and figure out where you want to put the waste. And so, and then different, and then you can also terraform the land as well by moving dirt from one place to another to maybe create a land bridge or whatever you need to do, or create a dock or something.
It's all the big industries, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oil, and then on top of that, there's other islands that you can trade with. So that's the kind of like the Anno thing. And then out in the ocean, there are pirates that can come attack your trade vessels. You have to start arming up your trade vessels and stuff like that. And then I haven't gotten too far. It's still in early access. I purchased it once, but it was too early for me, so I ended up refunding it, and I've just bought it like a couple days ago again because it was looking like it was making great progress, and really excited to give this one a go again.
There's a bunch of stuff going on there for sure.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
rocket?
Factorio game. That's a Factorio game. A lot of stuff going on.
That's
Eventually,
worrying,
you
man.
can-
I'm scared of that game.
Eventually, you can build a rocket. I guess that's been released recently.
You know, I've never
You
played
go
any of
up
those
and-
Anno games either, but I hear those are good.
Anno's a city, kind of like a city builder, almost futuristic. I feel like Sniper would have played Anno games. I don't know if that's a Sniper game or not, but
No, he likes peasants. He likes the old, right? You don't play
Yeah.
the
The
future
olden
ones.
times, no futuristic stuff. Yeah, the
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Give me this, but give me like 17th century France. Give me give me all the shit, but I want to like send out peasants. To
It would
do
just,
things.
dude. It would be cows and people dying of the plague. It would be so
Exactly.
it's
That,
not
why
good.
don't you want to
they
manage
got
that? That's
Anno
so fun.
1404.
Yeah, Anno 1404. You got your peasants.
Oh,
you got your
boom.
lords and your ladies.
Hey,
Hey,
there you
dude,
go.
Exactly what
This is
you
my
asked
shit.
for.
This is one of my favorite games. I think this is like one of the first more complex. Like, first I started playing RTSs, and then this was the first one after that was a little bit more complicated. But yeah, good game. Play it, Nick.
I'll try it out.
No, he
I'll
won't.
try it out.
No, he won't.
No, I won't.
Those games
I'm
are
waiting
such
for that
time
fucking
sinks,
game
man.
that you showed us, where it's like, it's kind of like Mountain Blade, but it also has like a Sim City aspect. Do you remember what it is? It's like medieval something.
Dude,
or-
I have the tattoo right on my
Manor Lords.
fucking ass. It's
what I
Manor
was-
Lords.
Manor Lords.
you have
yeah.
a Manor Lords tattoo?
Of course. No, just joking. I am looking forward to it, but not that much.
It's just a peasant with a shovel. It's like,
Yeah.
this is the official Manor Lords tattoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Dude, this
yeah,
looks
sounds
so
good.
fun.
Yeah.
When is it supposed to come out again?
Who knows? It's just one guy, so it could
Oh,
be
yeah, it's one dude.
So never.
It says support email. It's literally like John at Manor Lords. It's just one guy.
His name is Eric, and he's on my ass. No, just joking.
Can you send him a message and be like, can we interview you?
There you go. So hit him
Yeah, I'll
up.
do it.
He's
I'll write some
pretty
questions
busy,
and be
dude. He's
serious.
literally creating a world. He's busy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
send them in whatever. A twit. All right,
Alright.
now we got highlights. These are games that we played and have something to say about. Bobby, I have a lot to say about the Divine Knockout, man. But let me hear what you have for it.
Well, we can talk about Divine Knockout first because we both played that. So this is the game that is by it's based off of Smite.
Hi-Rez.
Yeah, it's by Hi-Rez. It's based off of Smite, which is a game. If you listen to this podcast, you know like we love Smite. But this is it's a knockout game, a brawler knockout game, similar to
I heard
what is-
platform fighter is what I
platform
heard.
fighter.
That's
is
how
what they're
they.
calling it,
Yeah,
is the appropriate term.
I guess so.
Okay.
I read it for the first time when I was reading this.
Okay. I don't know. I don't play these games, but it's like what's the famous one on the Switch?
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. Yeah. It's like a Smash Brothers game, and there's never really been a good one on the PC. People have tried, and they always fail, and it just never seems to capture whatever makes Smash Brothers so much fun.
Multiverse is doing well, right?
Multiverses.
Yeah, that one's doing.
Yeah,
well.
I've heard Multiverse is doing pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the one with
Yeah, that one
Scooby-Doo and
recently
stuff.
came out. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the Warner Brothers characters. Yeah, so this one is not 2D, it is 3D, which kind of switches it up because I don't think I've seen any 3D platform brawlers like
Yeah,
this.
this is the first time that I've seen it like
Yeah.
this.
And it's got all the gods from Smite. Their abilities are pretty similar. They're not exactly the same, but they're kind of similar. And the idea with these games, I guess, is that you beat up on each other, and eventually, when you do enough damage, they become easier to knock out. Like you can hit them farther. So you're trying to knock them off of some platform in order to win. And I don't know, I played this game for a while and it seemed like fun at first. And then I just hit a point where I was just like, I'm bored with this. It was a little too arcadey. Kind of like when we were talking about the Atari games, how I said like those are just so short lived, the enjoyment, because that's how rudimentary the games were back then. That's kind of how I felt about this one. It is in early access beta, so I think they really have to flesh out kind of the meta game, the stuff outside of the core gameplay loop to really keep you coming back and playing more rounds and make you invest more in the matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So it could have potential if they work on that. But
Did you play as Amir?
of course, dude.
Yeah.
Of course I got to play as Ymir.
I thought it was very odd that you had to like unlock him, or just the way that just like give us all the things. It's an early fucking
Well,
beta.
it's strange because they give you, if you do the training tutorial, you unlock King Arthur, I think, and then they give you a bunch of credit to unlock stuff in the store, even cosmetics and stuff. But you have to actually go in and unlock them. Yeah, why don't they just give you access to everything? And there weren't very many gods to choose from, too. I'm sure they'll.
There's like 8, maybe.
Yeah, and they need a lot more, and I'm sure they'll add. I mean, Smite has well over 100 at this point.
So I just feel justified because, I was obsessed with Smite, and I would send Bobby these huge texts about like they should put Jesus, and this would be his powers, and all this stuff, and like and I would like this is his passive ability, and here and all this stuff. He's like, all right, man, you're getting a little too crazy. And then another one of my ideas was why don't they take the fucking Smite characters and make a Smash Brothers games? Because you already have everything, all the characters fleshed out. You have their abilities fleshed out. Like it's all there. All you have to do is fucking change the view. I didn't think they were gonna do this. I was thinking of a more traditional side scroller type. But yeah, I feel justified in my crazy ideas that I was like, yeah, just fucking do it this way. And it is funny that they took the traditional MOBA and flipped it on its head and put it third person, and then they're doing the same thing with this. It's never been done in this view. I had a good time, almost exactly like you, Bobby. Like I had a good time, and then it just kind of there's not a ton there. It's hard to put my finger on.
Well, what
why.
I was hoping for, because I was playing I think it was 3v3 matches. I think that's the default.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more of a synergy between the teammates. Like, okay, you line up this
like there's a
shot and
tank.
I combo with this ability. Not necessarily like tanks or like role-based stuff, which I agree might be cool too. Like, okay, this person's the healer, this person's the tank, this one's the damage dealer. Like that would have been cool. But even just like comboing abilities together and finding synergies between characters, like
I'm sure there are. I'm sure they plan to put that in. I went up again.
it probably exists. It just takes a while to discover that after a while.
I was having a fine time with just whatever, playing, doing okay. And then I went up against a trio that it was disgusting what they were doing to us. And yeah, one guy knocked me off, and then his teammate threw something at me and made sure I didn't come back. I was like, fuck, these guys, how are these guys pros? It came out today.
Yeah.
It came out today.
There's always those people.
Yeah.
It's just 4 of the developers sitting in a team.
Yeah,
They're like,
The only people that play with us.
Who are the gods now? All right. Yeah. So that was Divine Knockout. And
It's in beta or early access, but you have to request it. You can do that from the Steam page. I did it, and I got in almost immediately. Like within an hour, I got in.
Since we were talking about Soulstone Survivors, I don't know why I have a hard time saying that. It's a lot of S.
It is, yeah. It's not it doesn't roll off the
Soulstone
tongue.
Survivors is that vampire survival game. Bobby talked. He went into detail all about it. I just want to come up with a couple of other things that I noticed about it. One, I really dig the music, man. I thought they fucking.
That's so funny, dude, because you know what I do. Every time I load up a game,
Yeah.
I turn the music off.
Oh, so you haven't heard the music?
You know what? I had it turned at a very low volume, so I did kind of hear it, and it was kind of confusing me because it was like a real thumping kind of beat,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, and it was like it sounded like a phone ringing almost at the volume I had it at. Like far away, my phone was vibrating, like, like Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, I didn't really get the musical experience.
So Bobby's the only one in the world that had that experience. Everybody else listens to music. I
the
did want to
normal
say
thing.
that like the desert is kind of like desert themey, but still also like techno. But like, yeah, and then the swamps sound swampy. Like whoever did the sound design, it was cool,
It
man.
was a real swampy tune.
It was a real swampy tune, man. And what was the other thing? I'm having a really good time with it. I enjoy it. Bobby, have you played much more?
I haven't played any more this week. No.
Oh,
did
okay.
you go golems? Because that's what I was like, dude. The golems are like
They're so
overpowered.
strong.
Yeah.
They're too strong. They had
Yeah.
that. Whoa.
What was that?
I don't know. It was me saying something about something.
Sorry, that was my bad.
He likes to watch video of me nonstop,
Okay.
even during while I'm talking. It's just not
I want to
enough.
try the endless mode. That's something that I haven't done yet. But I think you have to beat a certain amount of levels or like progress to a certain point before you can get to the endless.
How many
modes.
characters did you unlock? Bob?
You how many do you start out with?
2.
2. I must have unlocked like 3, maybe 4.
Huh.
I unlocked
Additional?
a couple. Yeah, like additional.
Oh shit!
The ranger.
Yeah, I got the ranger,
One other.
the
like
houndmaster.
The houndmaster. The guy who throws the fire waves is like a mage.
Oh yeah, pyromancer.
Yeah, I think I unlocked 3 characters.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. I can't wait to see the other characters. I already beat every level, and I just don't know what I'm supposed to like. There's modifiers.
Yeah, so you do the modifiers and it makes it harder, but there's like it's kind of confusing the way that they do that. Okay, we got the tunes coming in. But now this
Kinda
must be the
sound like
desert.
a phone vibrating.
Yeah.
Okay, so what area does this sound like? Does it sound swampy? I'll tell you that.
Well, that's definitely a desert tune.
It's a desert tune. See what I'm saying?
Oh my god. But it's like a soundscape. What the hell was I even saying, dude? Completely
I was
different.
saying that I'm done with Soulstone Survivors, and God, I want to hear about some God of War Ragnarok.
Man, this fucking game, man. So I put a 7 hour, or me and Leslie, I should say, have put 7 hours and 50 minutes in it, and we are still having a fucking blast. I would say that this game is arguably one of the most, if not the most, well-paced game there is.
So funny because the ACG guys like the worst thing about this game is the pacing.
Nah, man. So,
But
like,
he beat it.
when
He already finished it, and you're 7 hours in. So
yeah, that might be a difference. Obviously, I'm not going to bring up any spoilers. The game follows directly after the events of the first one. I want to say, like, I think it's only like a year difference between the two, so that there's a little bit more character development or something like and stuff like that. And if you love the first one, this game has so much fan service from the first one, obviously, that the first, like, every time you meet an old character, it's as interesting, or if not even more interesting, than meeting a new character. It's because, like, everyone has reactions. So everyone has reactions to seeing each other, and the characters portray that. And one of my favorite things from the first game and the second game is that there is cutscene dialogue where everything is, scripted and it's just happening in the scene. But there's also this passive dialogue that exists between characters. And 99% of the time in the game, you have 3 talkable characters on the screen. You have Kratos, Mimir, and Atreus, and that's usually the case. I have played some of the other characters, and what's nice about that is that it does not feel like it's crowbarred into the game, or they're trying to get it as a gimmick. I see why they've done it, right? It's not like God of War, how God of War was on the PlayStation 2, where every boss you defeated gave you a new weapon, right? Now it's Kratos has his 2 or 3 powerhouse weapons, and the characters are now the things that kind of change the way you play the game. I can't wait to finish this. I would like to finish it before the WoW expansion comes out on the 28th. I think I can. I just don't want to have to rush through it. This is something where like when me and Leslie want to play, we both look at each other. We're like, about 3 hours until like 12 o'clock, or 2 hours before 12 o'clock. That's our bedtime. Let's play some God of War. The baby's asleep. This is no like, I got 20 minutes. Baby's taking a shit. Let's go play. Like that's not the case. That's not. You have to sit down and play it. And like every time we play it, it feels like we're watching a movie.
That's what.
And that's not a bad thing.
That's what I was talking to John about playing God of War, and I came home fucking exhausted from working, but I had some free time, and I was like going through my games, and I'm like, no, this is too difficult. I wanted no effort, and then I was like, oh, I'll just sit back and watch God of War, because unless you really go after the really heavy hitters, not the combat's still fun,
Yeah.
but it's not like I'm not stressing out about this game. It's more,
Yeah.
and then the fucking banter. I think that's what you were talking about, Bob.
Yeah, it's just the conversations that happen organically in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It really pushes the story No, it fleshes out the story. The cutscenes push the story forward, but it's just the regular talking back and forth that really makes this game. Nick, I'm a crier. I watch things and I cry very easily. Usually,
this game arguably now has quickest time to cry for me and Leslie. We were just like, oh,
I don't.
Why?
What in the first game? What in the first game made you cry? Like, at no point was I even close.
Are you done?
Yeah, I finished.
Oh, okay. I mean, we can talk about God of War 1. It's been out for 5 years or 6 years. So, there was just a lot of points where, like, you think, I don't know, being a new parent and just knowing that we wanted kids, there was times where we were like, I really feel like this as a parent. And when you're talking to Atreus, the thing for me that in the first game, or the essentially the fourth game, I had so much background knowledge of Kratos because I played all the other ones, right?
Right.
And so I know the changes that he's made emotionally and as a human, and I still see the things that linger.
Yeah, you were a lot more connected to Kratos than I was. Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, you start to self-reflect in that in a way, right? Because in God of War 1 through 3, you're banging fucking demons and angels and fucking gods and shit, and you're eating stuff, and you're just tearing everything apart. But now, like, Kratos is, it's not to say he's calmed down, but Kratos has really adopted the father figure situation in the sense of he doesn't really know what to do, but he wants to assume the role.
Yeah.
And so that's such a curveball as a character, right? Like I said, you're just used to being angry, banging, and then killing. Like that's all you did to fucking that, And especially if you don't fucking know God of War, the game opens up in the first 20 minutes with his wife being buried.
Yeah.
And Kratos never had a wife. So you're like, what the fuck? Like as a person that played the previous ones, you're like, what am I missing? And that's part of the charm of the game for me, is that a lot of that, who his wife was, what his wife did, isn't in cutscenes at all. It's in the small banter.
Yeah.
Like Leslie, when I play games and Leslie is watching, she'll watch like 70% of the time, 80% of the time, and then she'll be on Instagram or messaging her sister, like whatever she wants to do, and that's perfectly fine, right? In God of War, neither one of us has our phones out unless it's to check out the time.
So. Yeah, it's I'll be playing this in a year or year and a half whenever it comes around.
Dude,
I gotta go check
Chad's PS5.
I gotta go check out what's going on. It sounds like something's going on, right, Bobby?
Yeah, there's a lot of noises in your house,
I'll be
dude.
back.
You may want to investigate.
But definitely check out God of War if you can on the PlayStation 5. If not, you're gonna have to wait a smidge.
All right.
What did you have, Gummy? I had the.
Well, I was about to ask the God of War that's on Steam. Is that a remake, or is that what this is? Or
No, so we've mentioned this before, but it's still hella confusing. So there was 3.5 very core games that came out on the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3. But the thing is, the time difference between the fourth one and the third one is so huge that it's not even close to any of the time delays between the first three from each other, right? You legitimately do not have to play the first three to get a good game and a good experience and meet these characters for the first time in a different way. But if you want to be really tied to characters, they've remastered 1 and 2. They're fun games. Like, if I had to equate them to a game that's coming out now, it's like a hack and slash and Devil May Cry put together.
Well, yeah. The reason I was asking is because I have zero interest in ever getting a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So if I were to play one, I'd play it on Steam. And I was wondering if I needed to know what the other ones were,
So
or have ever played them before in order to play the one on God of War and still have a good time and understand the story.
no, you can play God of War on Steam. To be honest, the first 3 God of Wars, that's a solid like 30 hours of entertainment. It is fun, and it is, to me, like, as a very emotional person, I like character building, I like lore, and so, like I said, in the first 20 minutes, I'm over here bawling my eyes out because what's the fuck's going on. But that's arguably because I'm more attached. And the same thing happens with like Metal Gear Solid. If I play Metal Gear Solid right now, like, I'm probably gonna cry at certain moments because I just love the game series so much.
There's been a
just a big
couple
old baby.
times, Gummy, where I went into a series like that, and like Halo Infinite was my first Halo, and so I went on YouTube, and they're angels of YouTube. You know, there's just people that are passionate about stuff, and they're like, "This will get caught up in
Yeah.
15 minutes." You know, and then there's something for that for any of the big name ones, so you can get caught up pretty easily. That's also how I watched the entire game of The Last of Us. I watched it all. Some person play the entire thing, the first one, because I had heard how good it is, So, but I'm glad I played the second one. Anyway, yeah, I would definitely pick this up, Gummy. Even if it's not your type of game, it's just gaming
Well, it looks like
goodness.
fun, just destroying monsters all over the place.
But
So one thing that I will say, last thing about it, the difference in like monster size versus like how many gods you're fighting, right, from the first set of games to these last 2 that have released is different, but it's nice. If you don't have an emulator, you can't play the old one, so you definitely shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
speaking of Halo Infinite, though, you've been playing it, Gummy.
Yeah, I've been playing that with Cricket Soldier, playing the co-op on Halo Infinite, and we've been enjoying. I'm not sure because I haven't beaten it yet. Like, I've played it through on the campaign single player, but I never beat it. So I think we're about halfway through. We're enjoying it, but 343 has a way of fucking things up. So
What's wrong with the co-op? I wanted to play this
No,
with
there's
Leslie.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with this co-op yet that I've found so far. The Master Chief collection had all sorts of things wrong
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
that was Heart Garbo for the first
Yeah.
year.
But right now, we're enjoying it quite a bit because one of the best things about Halo is running around in vehicles, and you just feel badass with vehicles,
Yeah.
And
My big complaint was
this
like the outdoor stuff is fucking awesome. Like, yeah, our vehicles and all that stuff, it's fucking really fun. But then if 60 or 70% of the game happens in metal hallways, and it gets so repetitive, dude. You know what I mean? You make this beautiful outdoors, and then it's so aggravating. Every single spaceship is metal fucking hallways, and they're the same color, and
You played Infinite, right?
I
You played
finished
through
it.
the
Yeah.
campaign?
It gets
Yeah.
so repetitive, man. But like I said, the outdoors is awesome. It's the best part of the game. I would have loved this game with no meta hallways.
This game is one of the games where that was the strongest critique of it. Besides like not having multiplayer, but actual like game content, like primarily for the main mode of the game, which is single player. That was one of the biggest complaints, was that all the engagements felt the same unless you were outside.
Yeah.
And if you never played the first one, as someone who played the first one while in Mexico with a group of like 20 Mexican villagers behind me, that first level of the first game is so intimidating because you're just like, wait a second, this FPS is letting me run around on an island and riding vehicles, and I just saw all my squad mates get killed. That change of pace, like dynamically, was such a big thing that I would say you should play the first one. It's been remastered, Emilio, especially if you have Game Pass, because I think you get the Master Chief Collection with it.
Yeah.
Nah. I'll pass.
The first one's fun. And before the co-op came out, Cricket and I were trying to go through all of them in order. Halo 5, you're not allowed to play because they only put it on console. But
Bobby, didn't you play
I
the
heard that was hot garbage. I heard that
original?
was hot
Like
garbage. Anyways,
recently?
so.
Like in the last 5 years?
The original Halo?
Yeah.
No, not recently. I used to play it back in the day, like when it was on PC.
I thought you played the remastered or something.
Well, I think we all jumped in and checked it out when the recent one came out, Infinite, or whatever the
Just
co-op
like you
was.
said earlier, Emilio, though, they have a Halo movie series, like a whole movie. You go to YouTube or whatever, and they play through all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Play through, and it's like probably 2 or 3 hours long.
Yeah,
And,
I did a lot of skipping around on that one.
Yeah, so
Gummy, the best thing for me for Halo was Halo Forge, with all the custom mods
Hell
and
yeah.
stuff people made, and now they're coming out for this. Have you tried any of this? These like custom games with Cricket?
I have not. I haven't done really any multiplayer. I played a little bit when the game first came out with a few other people on the Discord.
Cool.
but
They have like custom scripts in it now. Like someone's making like Tron in Halo. You ride your bike and you get like shot out the end and you die if you crash on the back of it. They remade Bespin platforms from Star Wars Battlefront. I don't know if anyone else fucking remembers that, but that
No one knows what a Bespin platform is. Just like no one knows what like a Tal Farseer is. We're not everybody as nerdy as me and you, man. We love the deep lore.
Yeah, with Bespin platforms is a specific map on Star Wars Battlefront that like FPS players love. It's been recreated in a bunch of games, but anyways, now it's here in Halo Forge. So that's what I'm excited for Infinite. I think.
Yeah,
but are games on gamepads moddable? Obviously they are, right?
So Halo has its own modding tools within it. Some of them allow modding up to the Game Pass discretion, but most of the time when those mods involve certain things, they don't allow them.
Gotcha.
But what I will say about Forge mode, for those who don't know what it is, it's a game mode. It's not even a game mode. It's essentially a program where you can create anything you want in Halo. And it used to be really so popular that a whole fucking YouTube channel and business was started based off of just Forge, and it was one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world.
The Red versus Blue.
Exactly. But what I will say, it's Rooster Teeth. But what I will say about this new one is that the amount of tools that they've given people has never been bigger, and not all the Halo games have a Forge mode. But this one has been so crazy. Like people are recreating Mario Kart, people are recreating all this other stuff. That some people in their generational gap with Halo, Forge was the thing that was fun for them to do. Not the single player, not the multiplayer, but Forge itself. And everybody who's like a diehard Forge fan says that this is the best one by far.
Dude,
nice.
In the original Halo Forge, I made a paintball map it was single kill with the alien pistol, and I just set it up like a paintball field, and other people were playing it. You know, I would like run into people in the multiplayer lobbies playing my paintball game, which was pretty neat. So
That's a cool feeling.
Yeah, it's time to come back. It's time to go back to Forge, see what people are making, play some Tron, have some fun.
This Tron looks really fun. Like,
Like it's such a good idea, and you can see what the assets are. Like it's just one of the ATVs. Every time it drives, it just drops a static block, and the static block just has a death box in it, and then it kills whatever it touches. Boom! You invent the Tron cycles, make them glow, sell like. And the thing is, people get, what is it called? Like recognized by 343 for what they've created, and there's like check out this fucking Forge game of the mode of the week. They invented Super Mario Brothers, you know.
Yeah,
And that there's plenty of that around as well. It's a whole community.
it's good when it's almost necessary for the game studio to support the people that are supporting them by doing all the extra stuff, all the extra media. Don't ignore it and act like it's not there. Point it out and boost people up. That's the right way to do it.
my
You know-
first, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, it's one of the ultimate examples of that is the Dota thing, where Blizzard didn't buy Dota because they're like, this is our game, this is our shit. Fuck you, you get nothing. And you know what happened? Valve bought Dota.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an aside, but you know that shitty gaming community I used to be a part of and help run Diplo.
Oh, I got a funny story about that. Yeah, but continue.
Oh shit!
Should I throw away my Diplo mugs because they're just taking up space?
Oh yeah, throw them away.
Throw some
Are we
hot
talking about the
shade.
DJ Diplo?
No. So I used to back when I was like 13 and 12. The first online community I got into was Warcraft 3 custom maps, and there was this community that supported like strategy games in that subgenre of like modding called Diplo, and that's where Diplo started. But one of the cool things was that early on we had Iceforge, the maker of Dota, go to our forums, and he posted the picture of Valve, of the contract that Valve gave him, like in the boardroom and everything. He came back
shit.
and he was basically like, I made it, guys, like some of us modders got big, which was so cool.
That was
I don't know.
fucking
I think
awesome,
that's
man.
the only game where that happened,
But it was
really
Ice
cool.
Frog, not Ice Forge, right?
Yeah, Ice Frog. Did I say Ice Frog?
Yeah, you said Ice Forge.
Yeah, you keep
Because we've
saying
been
Ice
talking
Forge.
Infinite Forge so much.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Infinite
Yeah,
Forge.
my bad.
What were you gonna say, Emilio? You said something.
No, Gummy had something.
Oh, I was
Oh.
gonna say my first experience with modding in any game came from Halo, and I had an old Xbox, just a regular Xbox, and we turned it into like basically an Xbox PC, and we turned like the needler into the scarab gun and all that stuff. So every single needler that came out was a scarab shot. It was fun.
So you
And those
were
were like manual mods back then too. Like you
Yeah.
had to install hardware for that to be a thing.
actually writing code?
Oh no, I didn't do it. I don't even...
Nah, you just bought it on the street like drugs.
No,
Oh,
Like,
I had a buddy back then, Cricket, and we both had Buddy, and he was into all that coding, like some of that stuff, and I gave him my Xbox, and like we'd go over there and just mess around with all these different mods that he would find or put in there. So
Do any
let me
of
get a
you
sack and the newest mod, son.
do any of you three on video know what a game genie is?
Yeah, of course.
like a Game Shark.
Yeah, maybe
It's the
they
same
changed
thing.
them. Yeah,
it's
same
the
thing.
same. It's literally the same exact thing.
It's
yeah,
basically
the Game Shark was the newer version of it.
yeah. So it's a cartridge that you put your cartridge into, and it would hack your game. You would like put codes into it. So for Street Fighter 2, when it came out on the Super Nintendo, you'd use the Game Genie to like be able to play as the final 4 bosses. So it would make Vega, Sagat, and Bison playable beforehand, or you could just do all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, it was an early modding tool, I guess, a hardware modding tool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Yeah,
was a
totally.
lot on Halo.
Yeah, it was. We're
I
going
mean,
long tonight.
It's a good one.
All right.
All right.
Sniper, I'll guess I'll tell you that Diplo story another time. Then no need.
What?
Exciting.
All right.
Now
A
that
teaser
I'll
for the
make it
next
on-
episode.
I'll make
on
it
air.
quick. No, I'll make it quick. It's nothing like that amazing. No, I was playing HOTS. I was playing ARAM in Heroes of the Storm. Like I don't know, maybe a week ago, and I saw some people from that community that I was playing against. So like we're queuing into a match, and the load screen's up with all the people you're playing against. I'm like, I recognize those names, and I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh my god, those guys are from Diplo. So I'm telling the people I'm playing with, I'm like, guys, we can't lose this match. Like,
We
you
can't
gotta-
lose these
you gotta
fucking nerds.
Step it up, dude. You got to put on your big boy Jenko jeans, and you got to actually try. None of this like weird bullshit like that you guys pick sometimes. Like, let's play a real game here because these guys, I used to know them. They're not good, and if I lose to them, I'm going to kill myself. All right.
Did you win?
So they're
Oh,
like,
no.
okay, all right, Digi wants to win, let's play. And so we went in there and we stomped them so hard that they just sat in base and let us just push through to the core and
Beautiful.
and
typical.
win.
Oh,
Fucking
jeez. Typical Diplo,
Jesus
sons of
And we
bitches.
won in like 4.5 minutes. They took a screenshot, dude. They're like, this is the fastest game we've ever played. Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So your friends are still terrible at that video game.
Good job.
Not much has changed in the last 4 or 5 years since I
Since
used to play with them.
DLG fucking in-house HOTS go, man, that's a
those-
tunnel we shouldn't go down. Jesus.
Those were
Yeah, like
the
the
days.
DLG Valheim bullshit. You guys ruined that game for me.
All right. Let's talk about something else. SnowRunner.
Oh, yeah. That is becoming one of my favorite games ever.
This is
Like,
one of those like it's not a racing game. It's like a physics game with vehicles. I played one of these. It was like Spin Out, I think it was called.
Spin tires,
Spin
and
tires.
there's also mud runners, and there's a whole thing about I don't know how those coincide with each other. Happens to do with developers and the developers and the publishers not getting along very well. But
This is one of those games
Um,
where you're taking stuff from one place to another place,
one
right?
place, yeah, one
Hell
place to
yeah.
another place. In this newest stuff, that there's actually like production creation inside of it. So you have to take pieces from one place to another and create something in order to, put a bridge together or build this
okay.
factory up in order to print this paper. So like right now, I'm putting together a paper factory. So I'm getting all the resources all over a couple maps. Like I might have to go over to another map to bring the resources over to this one. And really, like the best way it's just a casual game. I've been playing a lot with Burn Division, and him and I would just have a great time just chilling. And there's no pressure to get things done. You're not under the time. You're not under a time clock or of any sort.
I feel like this game, the next update, like not the next one, but eventually, like it'll get to the point where it's like, you know what? They added a home life to the game now too. I have 2 disappointed wives. Like I can't wait until that comes out. Like that's gonna
So-
be fucking killer.
Gummy, so
Um,
when you play multiplayer, does that mean that the other player is helping you get more resources to your project?
So how it kind of works with like Burn, and we've also played with SOCOM a little bit too. He's come in. This is the first time I actually played where someone was on the Switch playing, and
Wow.
and Burn Division and I were both playing on PC together. It was cross platform, but I might flip over my truck or something, so I'll be like, "Hey, Burn, can you bring over a tow truck or something to come help flip me over?" But also, we got all this shit that we just carried over here, laying all over the ground now.
Yeah.
Or fuel truck or something. We might need a fuel stop halfway because our trucks are running really low on fuel by the time we get halfway to this location. So I'll be like, "Hey, either I'll do it or someone else will do it, and then we'll move a fuel truck into a decent spot so we can have some place to fuel. Maybe we'll take a huge tanker rather than a small trailer or something."
So
Yeah,
like
so
vehicle selection is key.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them are garbage, hot garbage. But you start off, with basically a little tiny truck, and you find one truck, and then You take that one, you go around the map until you can find another one. You purchase some more. Maybe you find one, then you sell it to buy another one.
When you find trucks and start driving it, that's called stealing. It's actually Grand Theft Auto.
Well, finders keepers, I guess. I don't know. A lot of the ones that you find, they're busted up, so you have to take take a repair trailer or a repair truck or something out to that location and repair it in order for it to move. It doesn't have any gas, and you need wheels are jacked up, engine's dead on it, so you have to take a repair, like all these repair items out to the truck, get it going, and then, or if it's a mission, then you have to haul that vehicle all the way back to wherever you need it wants you to take the vehicle. So there's a load of different things in it, man. And the last update was pretty cool too because they brought in farming in a sense, not exactly farming, but like it's a farming map, and you get into a tractor, you put down the plow and all this stuff, and seed it and then harvest it.
These
Turning into a
drivers,
farming sim.
these drivers are so industrious, dude. They drive their own trucks. They fucking build their own buildings. The guy fucking brings lumber to make his own paper, to make his own copies, like writing up
Dude.
deeds for cars he doesn't own. It's
The
insane.
next thing,
One
the next thing is
man's
going to
taking it all over.
be you're going to be starting a fucking union, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to be calling people, getting dues. You're going to be doing back alley deals. Next thing you know, you're working for the fucking mob. Now you got a gun. Well, I'm telling you, this is the future of gaming.
So I have 187 hours in this game, or 100 and maybe 90 now, since I played a little bit today or yesterday, and I've only completed 24% of the game.
Wow.
So there's a lot to
Ooh,
do.
and mods. That's
Yeah,
mods.
one of the things is getting parts to build a rocket and shooting that up.
Wow.
Astronaut, lawyer, fucking
So like you have to
farmer.
get all the parts to this, like, it's a hard map. I haven't even played it yet because it's so hard in the snow. Like a map with this.
It's called
ice all over the
SnowRunner, Gummy.
place. I know it's called SnowRunner, but there are maps. There are maps that don't have snow.
I'm more of a
and those
snow
are
walker.
generally those are generally the ones that I've been playing recently. Like I'm playing one in Wisconsin with papers.
Gotcha.
I wonder if the
Wisconsin,
rocket
dude.
gets stuck and then you have to like get that out. Maybe you
Yeah,
like build an X-wing that gets
rocks
stuck
they can
and
get
dig
stuck
in the
up underneath
swamp.
your chassis, and those are pain.
I
Yeah.
can't wait for the DLC to be able to see my kid graduate from fucking college. It's going to be awesome.
It's got a lot going
Eventually,
on.
you're just gonna get to so many DLCs. You're gonna get to God. You're gonna be like, you know what? I gotta take care of fucking Mumbai. You know, like things are going down in Qatar. Like we gotta fix this shit.
The
I'm
game
just
is
one
called
Italian guy.
SnowRunner. That's what gets me. The game is called SnowRunner, and you're going to space.
Yeah.
You know there's snow in space, right?
I had no idea it was so deep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. But yeah, really
I'm
enjoying
crying. I'm crying.
Nice.
it.
All right. I played Across the Obelisk this
Did you
week.
pick it up yourself? Did you buy it?
No, I played it off of your account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, which is so weird because I couldn't play. I bought Soulstone Survivors because
You couldn't play it off my
I couldn't
account?
play it off your account.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It
It was
can be
$10.
one of those games. Yeah, it's $10.
I knew I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's worth buying. So Across the Obelisk is a deck building roguelike that is also an RPG game, and it is also co-op. It was one of these ones that came out, and the whole one of the key things about it was finally a deck building co-op game.
They threw everything in this game, right, Bobby?
Yeah.
Dude, next thing you know, it's gonna be a Vampire Survivor next.
So I didn't get to play co-op on this, unfortunately, but I will say this: it definitely needs to be played co-op. I think it would be a lot better because it is tough to manage all four characters, all their inventory, and there's a lot of things to this game. So when I first started playing it, I was like, okay, it's a little more like Grifflin's in the deck building type games because it's an RPG. You set out on a story. There's a lot of like cutscenes. There's a lot of like dialogue. There's a lot of it's more of like one long journey that you're trying to progress through rather than a run that you're just going through, you know?
There's a story.
Yeah. and you kind of live with your characters a lot longer than you would in, say, like Slay the Spire, where it's just like, oh, that didn't work out, start another one, here we go. It's also a lot more complex than a lot of the other deck building games. There's a lot of different elemental effects, and I can't remember what they call the other one. It's like Mystic or something like that, and that has different types of effects. There's like piercing, blunt damage. Like there's just all of these different types of damage, holy damage, like so many different kinds and so many different defenses, and then like speed buffs and like 2 different types of protections against like different things. It was overwhelming at first. I didn't really like it, but the more I played, the more I started to learn it, and then I was okay with it. But it is difficult playing it with just one player. Now you can play this with up to 4 people co-op. Each person controls a character. But just like in Divinity Original Sin, when I played that game, doing the inventory management on 4 different people, like you spend a lot of time just in your inventory, sorting things out, handling talent points, trying to figure out, okay, where's the direction I want to go with this character? Do I want him to focus on bleed damage? And then hopefully I get this one card that does a lot of damage to characters who have a lot of bleed stacked.
And then also, when I was talking about, like, when you get loot, you have to divvy up the loot, and you're probably trying to figure out, fuck, do I give this to this guy or do I give it to that guy?
Yeah. So it's like shared money and shared crystals, which is what you use to upgrade stuff as well. What is cool about playing it single player and controlling all the characters is you can build synergies between the characters. So I started having, or like had my, I guess, an archer or ranger guy take bleed spells, and then my warrior guy would take bleed attacks as well and stuff that would combo well with bleed. And you can build some synergies between the characters that are really fun. I guess you can do that in co-op as well. But it was just a lot of overhead, a lot of downtime just handling that stuff. And
I mean, inventory isn't that deep in this game, right?
no, it's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to do deck building. Then you can equip gear
4
on your
decks.
guys. Yeah, 4 decks, 4 gear. And then there's a few other things as well. Like there's like each character has a talent tree that you can spec out. It adds up when you have to do everything 4 times. I did it all for the warrior, and then I was just like, I'm not even gonna screw with the other ones, man. I spent all my money and all my gems just on the warrior, like because I was just too lazy to do the same thing. I wanted to get to the action. But I warmed up to this game after a while. It kind of grew on me. I would be open to playing it co-op, but the single player, I don't know. It's a little time consuming. And I think it's designed where you can't really beat the game on your first run. You're supposed to go through it, fail, take those points, spend them on like permanent upgrades, and then take that through to the next game. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I enjoy the core gameplay loop enough to continue doing that.
Rusty Bagel said he had 200 hours in this game. So I don't know.
It's probably just sorting out his inventory, man.
Yeah.
150 of that's just
Dude.
him like specking his characters.
Yeah.
Fucking Rusty Bagel. What a good ass name.
He plays a lot of these games though. He plays a lot of God, I think after playing all these different ones, I still think my favorite one is Monster Train. I don't know, man. I think Monster Train is my favorite.
It's fucking cool. What you got out of Monster Train, Bobby, is what you're lacking from Risk of Rain 2. You know how, like, in Monster Train, you're trying to break the game. You're trying to get a combo that's so good that you break the game, basically. And the game allows you to do that, and it's encouraging you to, but you don't do it every run. And that's basically what you're doing in Risk of Rain. You're trying to get so powerful that nothing can touch you. But I don't think you've ever had, even though you've played a bunch of times.
Well, I don't understand what anything is. I've always played Risk of Rain 2 with people who are way more knowledgeable than I am, and we kind of rush through stuff. And I'm always like, what's this item? Should I trade that? What should I do here? And that's never a fun way to play the game.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is this game, Across the Obelisk, it's more of an RPG like Grifflin. It's more of a deck-building RPG. And in those games, God, I completely forgot the point I was going to make about these. I had like some real salient point about those versus like the short-run type games.
I was going to say that maybe because it's a long-form story. It's weird that it's a roguelike, but also has like you say, you spend time with these characters, but it's also a roguelike.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
is-
yeah. It still is essentially a roguelike, but it's got more of an RPG built into it.
Totally.
So it's I don't know. I still think like Monster Train. It just Monster Train was actually pretty complex too, and it was very busy with all the actions on screen. But I just like how you choose the two different classes and you find the synergies between those, and then you can experiment with the cards as well.
It was really well done. I played a game that I can't pronounce. It is the Dungeon
Not
of
this one.
Naheulbeuk.
Naheulbeuk.
The Amulet of Chaos Chicken Edition.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, these guys are not taking themselves seriously. The whole game's really campy. It's a turn-based tactics game, and you have a lot of characters right out of the bat. You have like 6 or 7 characters, and it's poking fun at the whole D&D stuff. The characters don't even have names. The ranger's name is the ranger, and the witch is named the witch. That whole thing, and they play off of all the tropes. You have an ogre. The voice acting is really funny. It's almost like a little sitcom that's going on because where's the dwarf? I don't know. Let's go find him, and then they go like looking for the dwarf, and it's when you're trying to make a comedy. Not everything's going to land. So, but I don't, not like my jokes where every single one of them fucking lands and it's uproarious laughter. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. And it's kind of misleading because the game is so jokey and kind of like campy and doesn't take itself too seriously. But then you get into the combat. I put it on the hard mode, and it's fucking hard, man. Like really fucking hard. There's not a whole lot of encounters, but I've played every encounter twice. I lose the first time every time, and then I beat it on the second one. But yeah, it's tough. So it's misleading in that way, but that's a good thing. There's just more content there. So yeah, I'll continue to play this. Having a really good time with this. And we got one more Hardspace Hardspace Shipbreaker.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of what started originally as a role-playing parody and as an audio Naheulbeuk.
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 Yeah, and everything in the game is like that. It's like we got to get the orb of Hubahaja. They're just it's a funny game. For sure.
Yep.
Hardspace.
So
Shipbreaker.
Hardspace Shipbreaker. And it's this is another one of those casual games that I enjoy that doesn't take too much thought. When you get home from work and you don't want to do very much, you just want to sit down and relax.
Are you moving stuff
basically
from
with
one
this-
place to another?
No, you're well, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you do. Yeah.
In this game, you're carrying boxes for this
No.
piece of shit
So
boss
in
you
this
have.
one, you're essentially a worker, and your task is to go out and dismantle this ship in the most efficient way as possible. You take certain parts, you put it into a furnace, and then Then there's also a processor, and then a barge down below you. So things like cockpit seats and stuff, they get reused, so they're gonna get sent down to the barge. And I'm not really too sure what the materials names are, but some things get sent to the furnace that are too destroyed, I'm assuming. So those things will get sent to the furnace, and then reprocess would be like armor plates on the outside. So, and then you just essentially dismantling this ship. And the cool thing is the atmosphere effects. You go inside through the ship, and if you don't depressurize, you're gonna have a bad day.
There's a lot of stuff
like-
that isn't this a game where like your laser cutter can go through fuel cells and you'll explode and stuff like that?
Yeah. So yep, if there's a fuel cell or some kind of a fuel tank or something sitting there, if your laser goes through and hits that, blows it up or something, or if you're taking out the nuclear reactor of the ship and you don't get it to the barge in time, you're gonna have a bad day. So.
Did you ever play the homeworld games? Those RTS, story RTS?
No.
The homeworld games. It's cool because this game, Hardspace Shipbreaker, isn't officially set in the homeworld universe, but it has the same vibe, and some of the ships look exactly the same. So you're disassembling some of the ships from this war in the homeworld RTS games in this first-person view, where you said you were a worker when you started this, but really you're an indentured servant, right? You start in like $72 billion in debt, and every day you think you're putting down your debt for the parts you put in the barge and stuff, but then they're like, cost of meal paste $1 million, cost of living arrangements $52 million. So you never I don't know, it's kind of like it's saying something about work, I think, but it is very fun.
It's it's a very fun. And as you and there's different levels of ships. Like the first ships that you go through, they don't have any atmosphere inside, so they're very easy to kind of take apart, figure out your ins and outs of the ships. As you get further in, difficulty wise, um, there are different parts of the ship that might cause issues, like the atmosphere, the tanks and stuff, taking the engine apart. You have to very kind of think about how you're going to do that
Is it
without
multiplayer?
dying. No, unfortunately, it's not. I really wish it was, because this would be a really cool, fun game to kind of play with somebody if it was just one person.
The only
Um,
game that this reminds me of a little bit is Teardown, that demolition game, which I always
Yeah.
want to play again. And somebody modded it to be multiplayer, Teardown. So
Yeah.
hopefully somebody does it to this too.
I think
Uh,
that's a lot of games that are not becoming multiplayer, and people are really upset. Modders are coming in
Yeah.
and kind of fixing that. And I'm hoping some certain games that I play aren't multiplayer, and I just am very sad that not.
Hey,
But I don't think they have any plans of making this multiplayer. But
hey, Chris. Earlier you did air quotes, and it just reminded me of my foreman. He always uses air quotes when they're not appropriate. It's so strange, dude. He'll just be like talking normal. He'll be like, "Yeah," and then I went down to the store and bought some lumber. I'm like,
Just good.
but he totally means he bought some lumber. I don't know how to speak to this guy, man.
I love that.
I'm gonna pull him aside and be like, "Look, dude, I got to talk to you about your air quotes."
Here's your. These are official quotes that you can use in reports about me about my actions.
And he always gets a smirk on his face, like he's fucking, I don't know, so clever.
Dude, it's the biggest joke in the world. He is clever. He is. Nick, do you want to do?
Yeah. So, speaking of fucking multiplayer and modding it, I got to play one of my first ever 3-player Magic the Gathering games in real life. And man, I will say it was a lot of fun. Me, Leslie, and one of our friends who came over for taco night, we decided, hey, we all play Magic. We all want to warm up a little bit and kind of tone our skills and check out these new decks that I bought. And we just played Magic. We ended up playing for like 3 hours total. Like it was a blast.
Did you play Commander or did you play?
We played Modern and then we played Commander. The Commander game was the third person, and we played with the Warhammer decks, which are just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
As a Magic player who was like, yes, my 2/2 ninja gets +1/+1 for all the other ninjas. The Warhammer cards are like, you know what? Take everything out of your graveyard. Anything that sticks to the fucking board stays. Like it's just these insane power cards, but it's fun.
Nice. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't get the crossover and were like, this crossover fucking sucks. You know what I mean?
No,
That
it
would've
was.
sucked.
You know what's funny is Leslie brought this up, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. She was saying that she hadn't played Magic the Gathering in so long, because it's been a couple of years. That the characters from Warhammer because of how much I fucking talk about them. She's like, I kind of knew what they did before I even read the card. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. She was like, yeah, totally. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I guess keep talking about it. So I can have this moment in the future for like another 6 years.
I don't know why she encourages you. We got some subs from Captain Gummy, so I don't know who that guy is. And Tommy Hinney.
21 months on Captain Gummy and 1 month on the other guy.
Chris, do you got a plug for us?
I have a plug. You know, we're so lucky today to share the show with Captain Gummy Patrick, one of, you know, driving me around in his Tesla. He's always having a good time laughing in the Discord. It's great. And you too can share the show with people you love. If you think they like gaming, or maybe if you just think they can review us on Spotify's new review feature on mobile. So go do that. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify, because not enough of you listen to us on Spotify. I don't know if you think it sucks. I don't know if you like paying for podcasts, whatever. But I know a lot of you do have Spotify, and it really helps us in the ranking. So
It's the only place I listen.
Oh,
Me too.
I look at the stats.
You don't
it
want to
says
see our beautiful faces?
on Spotify, you know? Which is pretty crazy because I'm
When I catch the Twitch, I'll watch.
I mean, it's also on YouTube, asshole. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, 3
No.
people watch it there.
3 people watch on you. Yeah, like literally, like, they're just bots making sure that we don't say any like racial shit.
It's King Terry fucking jerking off to me, dude. That's the only guy I listen to.
And dude, it's totally you. We know it's you. It's probably Rianne actually.
That is the plug. On to listener question.
All right, we got lots of listener questions, so let's roll through these. First one's from Alatom. Which is the better live action film, Dragon Ball Evolution or Avatar: The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan?
Has everyone seen those two?
Have not seen either. I have heard horrible things about The Last Airbender.
Yeah, me too. I think I watched it.
What about you, Gummy? Have you seen both of them?
I really wish Dragon Ball of Evolution, is that the newest movie that just came out?
No, Dragon Ball Evolution is a live action film from like
Oh, yeah.
2011.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it. And I don't really plan on seeing that one.
All right,
So
Nick,
it's just gonna-
let us know.
I'm the only one that's seen both of them. My quick answer is Dragon Ball Evolution is the better of the two. If you put a gun to my head, Avatar: The Last Airbender, you just get sad seeing it. Like you can see
was
Dragon
rough.
Ball like making a joke about Dragon Ball, but like when you see Avatar: The Last Airbender and he's like, "My name is Ong," and you're like, "No, no, 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 no."
Hey,
Let's bring this bitch back around. We're going home, honey, with the box of popcorn. We're not eating it here.
hey, Bobby, settle this for me as a film aficionado. Is M. Night Shyamalan a good director?
Oh, he's complicated. I've personally never been that big of a fan. I liked Sixth Sense, but when Signs came out and
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh my god, so good," I was like, I don't get it.
What about all the other ones?
I kind of fell off pretty early with that one. I didn't like any of his other movies, but I went back and watched The Sixth Sense a couple years ago, and I'm like, God damn, this movie was good. Like this movie was really good, and it holds up, and it's just I don't know, but I just Unbreakable's all right. That one's okay. Some of his newer stuff, not too bad. But
This guy made Stuart Little?
Yeah, he made Stuart Little.
Devil
one of the
was weird. Yeah, I've seen a lot of his movies. Oh, I don't know if these are all like his, an M. Night Shyamalan movie, like him as director or like auteur. But
gotcha.
yeah,
I thought Signs was good. The Lady in the Water, I thought it was pretty good. I felt like I didn't know what the fuck was going on until it was over, and I still didn't know what was going on, which is pretty good.
I have no idea what happened. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. I don't know.
you,
The big problem people had with that was he played a critic, and he kind of like tries to. The critic gets killed, of course, but like he's trying to like argue back against the critics by playing one in one of his movies.
Yeah.
It was a little on the nose.
Yeah. He always puts Indian people in his movies, which is good.
Yeah, and
supports
he
his own
says like
people.
he has a more European style of filmmaking, which I don't know, but
So, not to be like pushing anything. I'm not promoting anything, but Stephen King apparently got a hold of his newest movie, M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie,
Mm-hmm.
and is like, "This is the scariest shit I've ever read or even seen." Yeah, he's like, "This is a
He's
new
probably a
level of
producer
like
on
horror."
it, dude.
Huh?
He's probably a producer on it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we should check. But he said, I watched the trailer and Dave Bautista is in it, and I like watching him because his quote of "It's hard to find jobs that are not
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy when you're the size of a gorilla." So I
Well,
was
dude,
watching anything he's
Dave's
in.
a good actor, man.
He is.
I like him.
He's a dude in fucking Blade Runner 20.
Yeah.
It's
No,
so
I mean,
good.
Well,
What?
no, I think he's a good actor, but you guys are picking roles where like he just plays like some dumb idiot and just like who says like
No,
five
Blade Runner.
syllables.
He wasn't a
Blade
played
Runner,
a
he's
robot.
fucking super smart android.
Yeah, he played a robot, dude. It's not hard to play a robot. Beep, boop, beep.
That was the worst robot impersonation from
was
a
pretty good,
robot.
man.
Thanks.
Oh,
That's
dude.
exactly what a.
Yeah, Academy Award, folks, right here.
But
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you one thing. That one about the plants killing people was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of bad movies.
I never saw that one.
Mark Wahlberg's a fucking science teacher.
Oh, The Happening.
dude,
The Happening,
yeah.
dude. I watched that and I'm like, oh, I heard this was terrible. I'll check it out. And I was, and it was beneath my incredibly low expectations. I went in expecting like the worst possible movie, and it was like, oh no, this is even worse than you could possibly imagine.
Wow.
It was so bad. I was
Growing
like,
up, me and my friends made fun of me because my family movie nights, my mom would always rent the worst movie. Like, it would be like Sharknado, but like unironically, she'd be like, "This looks good," and The Happening was one of them where she was like, "This is a really good film," and yeah, whatever. It sucked, obviously.
yeah,
The Fappening was much better. Much better.
wow, that's a deep cut.
Yeah.
All right, next question from Tan Man. If you had to choose to work for a gaming studio, which one would you choose? I don't.
God, fuck it. I don't like Blizzard at all at their games now these days, but man, Bobby, Chad's perks are incredible. Did you see that sword, Bobby? It's a real fucking sword, dude. It's awesome. I honestly got a foam dump truck from
Yeah.
work.
Well, I mean, for context, our Chad, who used to be on the podcast, he went to work for Blizzard. He hit his 5-year mark with them, and they gave him an actual sword, like a giant sword,
Yeah.
like a halberd.
For those that are even nerdier than that, they gave him what was it?
Lightbringer or
wasn't-
something?
Yeah, it's like a sword from the Warcraft universe.
Was it Frostmourne?
It wasn't.
Yeah,
no,
it might be.
I don't think it was Frostmourne.
It had a name.
No,
It
it
was
looked like
definitely not
a
Frostmourne.
paladin sword.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Did not look like Frostmourne. Yeah, it was not that one.
Definitely not that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I'm good on the swords. Like, I don't know if I want my work to give me a sword. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this?
You bring it out at fucking cocktail parties.
Hey guys, check out my sword.
Sorry, fucking nerd.
And if the zombie apocalypse ever happens,
Dude, that's just like, you know, those are
halfway
the
there.
weirdest fucking guys that like collect katanas and shit. I mean, sorry to the people listening. I know you're
Half
out
of our
there.
audience is now
I know.
gone.
You got a ponytail and you collect katanas, man. That's cool.
Whoa, why are you calling me out like that, dude? That's crazy of you to do live. That's rude.
No, but I don't know if I worked for a developer. I honestly, I wouldn't want to work in gaming. I think that I don't think I'm cut out for that. But maybe Ghost Ship Games. All right, Deep Rock Galactic, the developers of that game, just because I would actually have some buy-in there. Like I believe in them.
Yeah. I would like to work at Valve, but I don't think I could keep my mouth shut. I would be telling everybody what we're working on. So it might not work
And
out.
that's why you don't work for them.
Yeah, that's why I don't work for them. All right, what about you guys?
I'm gonna go with something that's going on right now, and I think that's gonna be very successful. Is a company called Owlcat Games. They made a couple of Pathfinder games, which were kind of clones of a Divinity Original Sin, but they're making the new Warhammer Rogue Trader game, which is essentially Divinity Original Sin in the 40K universe. I think it's gonna be really well received and really good from what I've seen about it. So, yeah, Owlcat Games.
Your undying fucking hope of having a good Warhammer game. It's crazy that all these shitty games that come out one after another cannot staunch your undying light for this next one, guys. That other one, forget that one. This next one coming down.
They scratch different itches, right? Like their course could be like the Skyrim of the Warhammer universe, and that's probably never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But like Space Marine, I feel like I'm playing Dynasty Warriors, but I'm like a Space Marine and
Yeah,
chopping up
I see what
orcs.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So this if you like a Divinity Original Sin, this is probably going to be like your game. But the 2 Pathfinder games they made were pretty good, and well received. So yeah.
Gummy, how are things going over at the Tesla factory?
Pretty good. Speaking of factory, I think I would have to work for Factorio group. I'm just, I don't know, it has a lot. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm there at the factory. 'Cause I love factory games, dude. I don't know. I'm a civil designer, so I enjoy digging in the dirt, and I also love factory games, which is both of the things that are happening at the Tesla headquarters right now.
I gotta send you this
So-
game, dude. There's a like a multiplayer. I'll send it to you. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. There, I was like, this is a game for Gummy, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you.
All right.
But I think yeah, Factorio. I just love how they did things. It'd be cool to be on the next project.
I
of a
doubt it's called the
Factorio game.
Factorio Company, whatever those guys are called.
It's It's Woob. It's like Woob something. I
Uh,
don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there was
Woob software.
all right.
That's weird. Woob? Maybe it stands for something.
WUBE. Yeah.
Okay.
Wooby.
Whoop. Yeah.
Woob software. Yeah, okay. There you go. All right, next question from Tag Loro. In the last 12 months, we have had 2 absolutely stellar games. Game to animated show adaptations. Arcane and Edge Runners. Both of these productions have a few things in common. They are animated, they were produced by the game studios, and they both were done outside typical Hollywood. If that is the secret sauce, which studio, game, and production method would you be most excited or confident about?
Warcraft.
Hmm.
Just if
Like a
Warcraft
good
was
Warcraft
actually
movie?
done right.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like an actual good Warcraft movie. Like I was excited about that movie because I know I don't like story in video games, but I used to smoke a lot of weed and play a lot of Warcraft 3 and like this like I watched those cutscenes because it was a nice little break just to, rip a few bong loads. You know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
so I actually like got really invested in that, and I think in my my high stupor, I was like, this is kind of like Greek mythology or something, man. But I did kind of get into it, and I thought, God, this is such a rich soil for storytelling. And then the movie comes out, and it's the story that nobody cares about. It's like they chose the most boring. It's like a prequel to the interesting stuff. It's like, all that crazy cool stuff that happens. Let's talk about what happened before that. It's like nobody cares about that. And I think a lot of that was done I think a lot of what was done in that movie in general was just to make it like appeasing to a wide scale audience and not for the people who really were the fans, which happens a lot with video games. So, I mean, if Blizzard did their own thing, and they probably have the power to, like, I think it would be a lot better.
Here's how to make $1 trillion with WoW. Okay.
They already
Listen
did
up,
that.
Blizzard.
All right. Listen, here we go. Hot take. All right. You get the current CGI team to make a fucking movie and do it Star Wars style. All right. Start us a little bit deeper where the story actually began. Do good series of fucking stories. All right. Once that happens, once we're caught up, WoW 2. Boom. $1 trillion idea.
Good job, Nick.
I don't know.
What do you?
Like Overwatch 2? It's just called WoW
No.
2?
But no, like WoW, like I was watching the trailer today for the next expansion. I'm like, man, that looks fucking dated, man. Especially from like New World and all that other stuff. Like WoW looks so dated.
That answer was so bad. Gummy just left. The Shadowrun universe has always interested me. I think meshing like fantasy characters and putting them in a cyberpunk universe is fucking so cool. Almost to the point where like I want to read the books or whatever, but I don't have time for that. So I would love an animated series in that setting. I think that'd be cool.
That's a good universe.
Yeah. Has anybody read the books? Does anybody know anything about Shadowrun other than
No.
these games?
Played 2 of the games.
Yeah.
Really liked the first one, but second one got kind of old.
I think there's an RPG, like a D&D RPG, a tabletop RPG.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, next question from Brennan47. Thoughts on the upcoming PSVR 2? Is it the latest and greatest? Will it be compatible on PC?
Nick, can you speak to this? It won't be compatible.
I think it.
I can almost guarantee that.
It won't. It won't be compatible with PC. What I think they should do is do what they're going to do with God of War and just
WoW
wait.
2.
All right, look, Sony, you buy the properties for WoW. No, I think they're going to do what they did with God of War and Horizon, and just wait like a year and then make it so you can use it on your PC. Because apparently the graphics and everything like that, and just the hardware itself is amazing.
Did
And
we get a
for
price
pretty
point?
Decent price.
What's the price point?
I believe it's $5.99.
Okay.
Not in loonies, please.
Middle of the road.
So yeah, it's supposed to be a middle of the road, $5.49.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be a middle of the road as far as price, but like a high end performance. The thing is, it's just going to be It's just going to be on PlayStation, which sucks.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next question from Cricket Soldier. What happened to Inseedious?
No time, man. I have fucking too busy digging holes. Pretty much.
I think we still list that as a sponsor on our website and our on YouTube. We got to fix that. Insidious, yeah, that was an Emilio's side business selling salsa.
Yep. Mexican selling salsa. Surprise.
that's pretty
Insidious 2.0.
With Tabs
Insidious
having an update and a map creator, can we expect to see some challenges made by Emilio to be completed by the community? Probably not. Yeah, it's not the. I've never been interested in making maps. I'm like, let the professionals do that. I like when fucking players or modders make the units and then let me play with their units. Ooh. Yeah, like that's the big sell for me. So I hope they put that in the game. Although at this time, I think it's time for a Tabs 2. Not ironically.
All right. Might be time for
All
DLG
right, we were
2.
waiting for the punchline there.
All right. Next question from Eat Less Beef. Does anyone remember the game Tribes from the early 90s? Wasn't this the first large-scale FPS and before anything else that we currently think of as massive multiplayer FPS? I totally remember this. I remember begging my mom to buy this for me when we were at Walmart. I don't know why I did that a lot. I was like, please, dude, I would just be like, please buy me this video game, as a child. And sometimes they would, dude. Like it happened twice. There was like this NHL like 96 or something they bought me and I played the shit out of that game. And one of these games was Tribes. So thanks, Mom, for this game. And yeah, dude, this was the one where you could, what do they call it? Skiing? You could slide.
Yeah, slide down the.
Yeah.
This shit was so ahead of its time, I feel like. I mean,
This was Halo before it was Halo.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, the
Or
capture the
before
flag
there
on this
was
was so
Halo.
good. But it was a huge map and a big open area, and it was really movement based, and it was like ski shooting, man. Like people would be flying through the air, and you just try to like pop them out, and like you'd run in, grab the flag, try to run it back. We've got some people on the Discord that are playing Planet Side 2 again,
Wow.
and I remember playing that when it first came out, and like just really hating it. But that was like a big, large scale game, kind of like this. But
there was 2 games that made me a PC gamer. There was this and there was EverQuest. When I was at game stores playing Magic the Gathering, they had a computer rental area that, you could play by the hour. And I would go over and I would watch people play EverQuest and I'd watch people play this. And I was like, I need this in my life. Whatever I need to do, I need this. So Yeah, I called Gateway Computers and told them to send me a fucking gaming computer, and the guy's like, "Yeah, we have gaming." They don't have gaming computers. They had no graphics cards or anything. They just sent me the most expensive thing they had, and then I had to go buy a graphics card and put it in myself. So,
Dude, I remember when you were looking for servers to play on in this game, it would show you the server list was so strange. It would actually show you like what type of PC was hosting the game, if I remember correctly.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I also remember that you could be like a light guy, you could be a medium guy, you could be a heavy guy, but there was also loadouts. You could like pick a shield or have a mortar, or it was crazy, man. It was so ahead of its time. I can't believe it was Hi-Res Studios. Oh no, the Hi-Res did the reboot,
Mm-hmm.
Tribes Ascend, and it was pretty good. But by this time, it was outdated, not ahead of its time anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get a new Tribes, you guys playing it?
I don't know. It'd have to be pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, like Bobby was saying, you'd have these people flying through the air, and the primary weapon was like a energy disc, and you would just try to like fucking throw the football and catch the guy, like, and if you got that shot, you'd be like, "Fuck yes!" That guy was 100 yards away, moving 50 miles an hour, and I fucking nailed it.
Yeah, you had to like lead your shots.
Yeah.
And it was not easy to do. It was
No.
kind of a tough game. So when you got a kill, you were really proud.
Do you remember the heavy with his mortar shots?
Oh yeah.
Tukum, tukum, and it just 300-foot arcs, and just like luck whether or not. But if it landed, it was like a nuke.
It all sounds so much better than it actually was. Like if we were to, it was so much fun back then. But if we were to play it right now, we'd be like, "Oh,
It sounds
God."
fun as shit now, though. It's like
It sounds that way. But if we were to play it, dude, okay, let's all play Tribes tonight, and then we'll see how long that lasts. Oh, dude, yeah, that CTF was great though, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Last question from Warconius. The World Cup, massive corruption, repression, dead migrant workers, and persecuted minorities. Okay, that's a weird lead in. Who is your favorite?
I mean,
to
the World
win?
Cup is pretty shitty right now.
You know what? I'm so unaware of like what's going on in the world these days. I have heard that, but I have no idea what's happening with it. Maybe you can fill me in later because I'm sure everyone else knows. Who's your favorite to win it? Will Mexico make it past the round of 16? Will Messi lift the cup? Anyone play FIFA 23?
Can anybody speak on this?
I can.
I mean, I know what I know what's going on with the corruption and all that stuff. I'm saying, like, I don't follow soccer.
Are you talking about like the actual soccer?
Yeah, the actual soccer.
I
I hope Mexico does well.
kind of a tiny bit. Mexico will probably make it out of the round of 16. It'll be difficult, but it's possible. Who's your favorite to win it? Germany. And then will Messi lift the cup? Probably not.
So FIFA,
It's
I
the
remember,
organization that.
well, I know what FIFA is.
Organized.
Oh, okay.
But FIFA 23, he's talking about the game. Isn't that the one that got banned in Europe or something like that because of the loot boxes? Like it's got some of the most like egregious loot box. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back as far as the whole loot box.
I remember us talking about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
something about like you had to spend $40,000 to get everything.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was just-
so what it was is that there was a player system and players had ranks, and if you didn't buy loot boxes, you'd essentially have a way shittier version of the best player in the world, which makes no sense. Like your players, if you're emulating a game off of like a sim, kind of system where you're giving stats based off of real life stats, there's no reason why a guy that you have should be any worse than the same person that's playing it. So
Which is why Marvel Snap is so good. My Captain America is just as good as your Captain America. Have you tried it yet,
Exactly.
Bobby?
No, not yet.
You should, dude.
Dude.
I don't know if your old ass phone will run it though.
Yeah, probably. Well, maybe it might heat up and explode, but
I went to a wedding in California last week, and all my friends were playing Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
We were waiting for the fucking wedding to start. Like, do you have this person yet? No. And I'm like, all right, fuck, I'll play. So,
oh wow, it sounds like a wild wedding.
Have any of you guys played FIFA at any point?
I played it.
yeah, I
like
played it for
15
like a
years
solid,
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I played
probably
about
one of the
7
other ones.
years in a row.
I feel like I would rather play FIFA than watch soccer. But then if I'm gonna play FIFA, I would rather play Rocket League than play FIFA.
Yeah.
Makes
So-
sense.
So by the transitive property, you would rather play Rocket League
Then watch
than watch soccer.
transitive property, dude. I've
Yeah.
never heard of it said like that. They usually in MMA they call it MMA math, and it never works out. Transitive property. I like that. Cool.
Okay.
So, can we be playing Darktide this week? Is that something? Is that
November
coming out? This?
30th.
Darktide is coming out the 30th, so Wednesday of next week.
I got 4 days off this week, guys. We got to make a plan. Bobby, you're off.
Yeah, I
I
got
also
some time
have
off.
time.
Tribes. Tribes.
I'm down to try tribes.
No,
If you
I was
have,
How about
kidding.
if you have
four-player
a copy
co-op?
for me, I'll play it.
Well,
How about
Nick
4-player
and I-
Halo co-op?
Nick and I still got to play some Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah, we do. I forgot.
I own that game. I'm done for Phasmophobia. You in, Gummy?
Phasmophobia? I think I would be down for that, actually.
So I got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So
I have all
let's
those
make
same
something
days off.
happen. All right, cool. A lot of gaming. Big episode next week, guys. We have played all kinds of shit. Bobby shit his pants. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
I think I'm going to play a little bit of Out of Ore, which is another game. Someday I might talk about it. And then Gold Rush. It's like a Gold Rush game.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, some more SnowRunners.
Yep.
That's
Alright.
that's what my Thanksgiving looks like.
You were like, at some point, you were like, yeah, I haven't done the hard level because it's hard. It's got snow.
I haven't started the union yet.
Sniper, you playing any video games this anytime, anywhere?
It's just a normal week for me, man. You know, I would love to play Halo Forge if anyone is down to play that. Try out
Forge?
some- Yeah, custom maps. See what
I
people.
just really would want to play zombies.
Well,
Yeah.
We all have Halo Infinite. I mean, we all have Halo Infinite because of Game Pass. So yeah, I'd be down. Okay. Speaking for Nick, Chris, Patrick, Bobby, and myself, Snow Running Titties.
Yeah. Alright.
so you had a gathering 3 something.
All right, I got to get it out there. I've been away for 2.5 hours almost.
All right.